I gotta reevaluate my top 5 series on Disney Plus for Marvel, because the way Daredevil Born Again is going is looking like it's finna be the new top. That's all I'm saying. It's looking like it's finna be the new top.
Woke up this morning, in that shine. Whole team got the glow. You can see it in the stride. Got me feeling brand new, feeling brand new, feeling brand new, feeling brand new. Got me feeling brand new, feeling brand new, feeling brand new, feeling brand new. Yeah.
What up, YouTube? It's your boy JusRzd, and today we gotta talk about it. Daredevil Born Again, episode 8. Man. What an episode, right? What an episode. We're gonna get right into it, because I got a lot of thoughts and questions. The episode starts out with a pan out from a rose, or what looks like a rose, in the penitentiary, and we see Bullseye locked up in jail, getting moved from protective custody to Gen Pop. And we see he's confused about that. We're kind of confused about that, because we're like, well, what's going on? And then, of course, cut to credits. Or cut to the opening. Then we come back, and we pretty much see Daredevil kind of like really just facing the fact of everything that transpired in the last episode. You see he's kind of on edge. Him and Heather aren't seeing eye to eye. She's super focused on how vigilantes are bad now, even though Daredevil just saved her. That's an odd position to really take. I get her being a little more mindful of vigilantes, but to me that's just an odd position to take when a vigilante is the one who saved your life. She's like, no, I saved me. No, you just shot him. But he was finna unalive you. He was finna unalive you had Daredevil not shown up. So it's just like, you might want to chill out. But like, let's be real. Let's consider all sides. Let's really look at this objectively. And it's interesting. She's still reeling from the fact of coming to terms of unaliving somebody. And we kind of see them just kind of clashing heads, and then he gets a knock at the door, and Daredevil's like, what? Like, nobody should be here. Like, what's going on? And he either doesn't recognize or does recognize the person that's at the door. He goes to open the door and realizes Kingpin's right-hand man, his assistant, and sends an invitation to Heather at Daredevil's apartment. And so Matt's like, yo, how you know buddy? Like, why is he over here? Why is Fisk inviting you to something? And she was just like, well, I can't really talk about it, but I mean, because patient doctor confidentiality, so technically she can't really divulge a whole lot. But Matt already knows what time it is. Like, first of all, wait a minute, you know we together? Because how would you know to come look at my apartment for her? Like, that's weird. And especially considering Buddy said he had to deliver the note in person. Mayor Fisk wanted him to deliver the note in person to her. And so she was just like, oh, it's a black tie event that Fisk is inviting me to. Would love for you to come, Matt. And Matt's like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. And she was just like, but I'm going. And he was just like, well, I wasn't invited. So she was like, well, it does say guest. It does say Dr. Heather and guest. And he was just like, all right, whatever. And walks out. We see him get to work, still on edge, still trying to figure out everything that's going on. He gets news as soon as he gets to work from his co-worker, through his partner, actually. And she tells him about Bullseye being moved from protective custody to Gen Pop, and the fact that he wants to talk to Matt in regards to well, actually, she doesn't know why he wants to talk to Matt, but she tells Matt that, and Matt's a little thrown off, like, what? Like, what's going on? He got moved from protective custody to Gen Pop. Okay, can we get front row seats? Like, I don't care that he got moved. That is a death sentence for him, but so be it. He killed my best friend. Like, I'm not thinking about that. And so we see Matt just kind of going through a range of emotions with everything that's kind of barreling down on his shoulders, and him just wanting to, you can kind of see, like, deal with it in his own way. He knows how to deal with it, which is by being Daredevil and taking justice into his own hands. And you see him even in a situation where they're interviewing a client, him and his partner, and he can tell the client is lying. And he's just like, yeah, we're supposed to defend you, but we can't put you on the stand when we know that you're lying. So when you're ready to tell the truth, come let us know, and we can move forward from there. And his partner goes after him like, yo, why you snapping on the client like that? Like, what's good? He's just like, man, all of this is frustrating. Like, yo, we put Bullseye away. He gets moved from protective custody to gym pop. It's not enough. We defend Hector Ayala. He still gets killed by the cops that are still out there roaming the streets and overly policing these neighborhoods and these civilians. And he was just like, it's still not enough. And he's just like, now we got to deal with clients that are obviously blatantly lying to us. And it's just like, bro, you can tell he's just getting frustrated at the whole justice system and the whole way that they're going about it. And he was just like, it just feels like we're pissing in the wind. Like, it feels like we're just not, it feels like we're babysitting criminals, and it's like we're babysitting justice and babysitting the city, the crime in this city, and not actually doing anything to push it in a positive direction. And it's just like, yo, low-key, I feel like I feel where he's coming from, just considering everything that he's faced up until this point. And of course, his partner's like, yeah, I understand, I'm just trying to make sure you're good, this and the third. He ends up taking a walk. He ends up going down to Josie's. We haven't seen Josie since episode 1, so it was dope to see Josie's, even though it's not open anymore. It was dope to see Josie and to see the bar. He goes in, Cherry comes in, they have a conversation. Cherry's trying to figure out why he on edge, why he tripping. Josie's just happy to see him. She brings a specific liquor out and says that this is the last liquor that Foggy ever had, so we can go ahead and finish this off. And he was just like, why would Foggy get this liquor? She was like, trust me, I know what my customers order. And he was just like, hold on, Foggy only gets this liquor when he's celebrating. So he was celebrating something because he knew he was going to win the case before he actually won it, which is why he got taken out, which means Bullseye wasn't just on a rampage of vigilante justice. He was actually hired by somebody. And so he goes on this mission. He meets with Bullseye. They have a very interesting interaction. Very dope character work in that moment. He ends up beating Bullseye a little bit, slamming his head into the steel desk, and ends up leaving. And Bullseye is saying, like, I can answer all your questions, and I can let you know what you want to know, but you got to get me up out of here. And Daredevil's like, nah, we're not doing that. And ends up leaving after slamming his head into the desk a few times. And we cut to Kingpin actually taking Vanessa into the underground lair that he had where he's keeping Adam. And he pretty much shows her, like, look, I told you I wasn't gonna unalive him. I told you I wasn't gonna unalive him. So he's still alive. But I mean, I want to be with you. And if I can't be with you, then I just can't be myself. Like he dropped a few bars. He dropped a few bars over this. And Adam the whole time is trying to plead in the background for his life. She looks at the table. You see a key on the table. There was also a pistol on the table. And we don't know which one Vanessa grabs until she actually shoots and unalives Adam while he's still locked up in the jail cell. Kingpin and Vanessa end up reconciling in that moment. And then they prepare to get ready for the black tie event. And through the process of the episode, we also see Kingpin pretty much promote Daniel to deputy mayor or something like that. Deputy mayor over communications. But pretty much puts him head of, like, ear to the streets is what it feels like when it comes to getting everything done and getting everything handled. And Sheila has her concerns about it, and Kingpin takes note, but he's just like, I'm still the one who makes the decisions. Like, it's gonna be Daniel. Like, he's gonna get this promotion. And so we move on to the black tie event. We see Kingpin meeting with all of the constituents that were eyeballing him on the first black tie event where he was trying to gather funds for the Red Hook project. Now he's pretty much secured the funds publicly, but now he needs private donators. So he's throwing this dinner to have conversations with these private donators and pretty much kingpin them into donating money. He's pretty much kingpinning them into donating money, and he's going back to his roots. We see him in the all-white suit at the black tie event. We see Vanessa in the red dress, which is actually kind of funny and poetic when you think about it, because he still has the white rabbit in the snow painting that still has his blood splatter on it. So it's like this huge white painting with textures and then a red blood splat. And it just looked, it looked poetic to see him in the all white suit with her with the red dress suit, because it kind of matched the photo. So I thought that was dope. I thought that was pretty cool. We see him have conversations with different people. We see the lady who was acting super pompous towards him have a conversation with Swordsman, and her tune has completely changed, and she seems scared for her life. And we see Kingpin pull a couple other people into the private room to secure, have conversations to secure more private investors for the Red Hook project, and he pulls Swordsman in there. And in the process of pulling Swordsman in there, he reveals that, hey brother, I know you're Swordsman. I know you're carrying out this vigilante justice, and if you don't donate, what I can do is send my anti-vigilante task force to come down on your head. But I don't want to have to take it that far, so just let me know how much you'll be donating. And he was just like, yo, is that a threat? And then he flipped the line that Swordsman told him a few episodes ago. It was just like, no, that's not a threat. It's a warning. And I just thought that was so cold, the way he did that. And we see Heather in the party by herself, having a conversation with Vanessa. Then we also see BB from the BB report. She's having a conversation with Daniel. They're still kind of on edge. They cool, but at the same time, you can tell BB's kind of just there to keep her enemies closer, if that makes sense, because she knows that Kingpin was the number one suspect in killing her uncle. And so she ends up talking to one of the former police commissioner. Well, actually, he's still the police commissioner. And she ends up talking to her to get some insight on just the anti-vigilante task force and how that came about, and was he a part of the process, was he not? And he pretty much tells her like, yo, I can give you a lot of different information, just not here. And she's like, yo, you know what? Here's my card, here's the email. All the stories I publish aren't necessarily under my name. So if you ever want to get the real out there, holla at me, send me an email, and I got you. And we see that they're locked in, and we see Bullseye, cut back to Bullseye. He's getting stitches from having his head bust open by Matt. He's getting stitches at the infirmary, and he ends up pulling his tooth out. With no hands, he pulls his tooth out and uses his tooth as the officer is coming to pretty much undo his handcuffs to the chair so that he can take him back out of the infirmary and put him back in the cell. And he uses his tooth as a projectile and unalives. Well, not really he unalived because he hit him in the eyeball. So he took him out, took out that officer, and then ends up freeing himself and taking out the doctor and another officer, and then taking the officer's clothes and his badge and escaping from prison. And we see Matt arrive at the party. He finds he finds Heather, and we see that they're enjoying themselves in the party, but they're also kind of going back and forth and addressing the elephant in the room between themselves. Matt's trying to listen to her, but he's also trying to figure out what Kingpin's up to with his conversation with Swordsman. And then through the process of him wanting to confront Kingpin with Kingpin and Vanessa end up having the first dance of the night. And so they're dancing or whatever. And Daredevil puts his pole up. It was like, yo, Heather, I need you to lead this dance, and we're gonna figure out what Kingpin is up to. And we see Vanessa trying to have a conversation with Kingpin to confess that she was the one who actually hired Bullseye to unalive Foggy. because they got the news that Poindexter has now broken out of prison. And Vanessa seems very distraught. And now we realize that she's the one who actually hired him. Now Matt knows that as well, so he cuts in, ends up dancing with Vanessa, sends Heather to Kingpin. So Heather and Kingpin are talking, and Vanessa and Matt are talking, and Vanessa is denying any of the information that Matt is accusing her of. And we see Kingpin and Heather having a conversation about why Matt's acting weird. And Matt's just like, trust me, bro, I know it was you. I know it was you. I know you did it. My only question is why. She's just like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. And does your girlfriend know that you're Daredevil? Because like we can go secret for secret, like if you want to do that. And the whole time we see Bullseye arrive at the party. He's taking out the guards up top on the balcony area. He has a sniper rifle ready, or a rifle ready. I don't know if it was a sniper rifle. It just looks like a rifle. And he begins to pull the trigger. Matt hears it, jumps in the way of the bullet, saves Kingpin, and Bullseye's shocked. And everybody's just like, yo, what's going on? Heather's trying to see why Matt, she's trying to tend to Matt as he's bleeding out on the floor. Kingpin and Vanessa are running away, trying to figure out what's going on. And that's pretty much how the episode ends. And I ain't gonna lie, the instrumental that they started playing towards the end was fire. But I also really love the way they're depicting Bullseye doing Bullseye things. Like they keep having this shot where it's like behind his head, but it's like everything goes blue. And it in one shot it looked like it were eyes looking back at him, or back at the screen as we were looking behind his head, and everything went blue. It was super dope the way they're depicting Bullseye doing Bullseye things. So I thought that was fire. But I got so many questions when it comes to, I have so many freaking questions when it comes to this episode, because one, phenomenal, 10 out of 10 in my opinion. This episode was a 10 out of 10. Character work galore. For Matt, going through just like Cherry said in the episode, it looks like a man willing to throw his life away, because Matt is on complete edge this entire episode, and you can just see it's causing conflict with everybody in his life. And we all know he can't tell them, but we all know that he is Daredevil, and that he's just second guessing this facade of a life that he's been putting up since he put the mask down, to try to bring justice to people, and everything seems to be falling apart the more he tries to play by the book. And so he's just like, man, I could really take this into my own hands and do what I was doing as Daredevil, and making sure that these people stay locked up and stay meeting the strong arm of justice. And it's just like, y'all playing with me right now. Like this is like he said in the last episode, it feels fake. It feels fake for him to live this lifestyle trying to be this lawyer when his truest version of himself is Daredevil. And so I just think this episode was super dope. But I got so many questions. Did he do this on purpose? Did he plan with unknowing to Bullseye, but did he plan this whole thing out to give Bullseye the opportunity to assassinate Kingpin, and for him to take the bullet so that way it can seem like Matt has been unalived, and that way he can just live his life as Daredevil? Or was all this just happenstance and just went crazy and all to hell? And he just kind of tried to be the hero and dive into saving Kingpin. Like, I don't know. It just seems like a lot. I have questions. I have questions that I want to know the answers. We got one more episode for the season 1 finale, which will be next Tuesday. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this plays out. Did he do it on purpose? Did he plan all this out unbeknownst to Bullseye? Or did all this just happen just because, and now we're going to see how this story develops? I don't know, but I'm excited to see the end. And like I said, this episode gets a 10 out of 10 for me. Let me know in the comments below if you feel like I'm tripping or you agree with me. Did you enjoy the character work this episode or not? What's been your favorite part of Daredevil Born Again? I gotta reevaluate my top 5 series on Disney Plus for Marvel, because The way Daredevil Born Again is going is looking like it's finna be the new top. That's all I'm saying. It's looking like it's finna be the new top. But anyway, let me know in the comments below how y'all feel about it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you haven't already, hit that notification bell so that way you can be notified anytime we drop a new video on the channel, which is every day. So stay tapped in, stay tuned in, stay locked in, and never forget, it's free soul to the soul free. Let's get it.